And what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean out the bucket here. We're gonna spray it out with the hose. And then we're gonna start harvesting stuff in the garden. So we have a bunch of pumpkins and squash and corn that are ready. We also have a gigantic cabbage. All of those things need to be clean, picked out. We'd like to start getting them before any of the wildlife comes and finds them. Deer and raccoons will be on the hunt very soon, if not already. So we'd like to start getting those out. We're gonna work on that, and we'll take you along for the ride. We've been using the tractor to move a lot of rocks around, and it gets pretty nasty in there. And because we're going to put food in here, I just prefer to have it cleaned out. Now, of course, all the food that we put in here will wash before we eat it, but still, you don't want old, gross stuff mixed in with your food. And we have a lot of big pumpkins and squashes, and I have no interest in carrying them. So we're going to use this so that we don't have to carry them.
So the distance that you would have to carry is all the way
to the porch, right?
up there, which doesn't seem like a lot until you're carrying something heavy.
And I have carried the 5-gallon buckets of potatoes and 7-gallon buckets of potatoes, and by the time I get to the house, I'm tired. So I can't imagine carrying these, gigantic pumpkins.
And without my assistance because of my jack back.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty good.
You have three geese watching you.
Yeah, I see that. So that's pretty good. This doesn't have to be perfectly clean. There's bubbles in there, but that's because of the plastic in the hose makes bubbles. You see that my tractor is not locked properly right here. That's because I bent this on accident, so I've got to fix that. I got to get a pipe to put over top of it, and basically it'll lock. It's just it can't clear the bucket. So I got to get a pipe
I understand.
and bend that back. If I can't, I could always buy a new one of these, but I prefer to not buy a new one. I can probably just bend it back. I bent it while changing the snowplow out during the winter and just have not gotten around to it. I did recently grease up all the joints. You can see on some of these I overdid it a little bit. Some grease started coming out here. That's okay. I mean, it's not a problem to have too much grease. But yeah, I've just recently cleaned up all these joints. The tractor really does need a good cleaning. It's pretty nasty. I don't believe that we have to keep the tractor shiny like a car. Some people really work at their tractors. I'm more of this thing's out here to do work, and tractors get dirty. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep it clean and rinse off at least the heavy muck and dirt. You can see on the air guards over here, we've got a lot of stuff that's been pulled in, and that's probably not great. It's blocking up the ability to intake air. But outside of that, I don't really care. The tractor is purely a work machine. So we can just spray some of that off. Call it a day.
So this is our patch that we're going to be picking from.
If you look here, you can see the pumpkins that are ready and the squash that are ready. We have some very, very orange pumpkins in here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start pulling out any of the pumpkins and the squash that are ripe and are ready to be removed. We definitely have several of these squash and pumpkins that are totally ready to come out. So we'll start taking these out. Once again, we're really doing this so that the bugs and the creatures out here don't get to them. As things ripen, of course, they become more attractive to bugs and to raccoons and deer and whatever else. Last year we had deer chew on the pumpkins that we had on the squash. They don't really seem to like them a lot, but they will nibble at them to find out, and of course that ruins the pumpkin. So, all right, so when we're doing this, of course, we want to be careful. We don't want to kill the plants because there are still some younger fruits that are on here. that we could probably save and we'll still harvest out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get down as close to the vine as possible, and we're gonna cut through the top, and then we'll roll the pumpkin out, wipe off the dirt, and pick it up. Oh, this thing is huge.
How much do you think that thing weighs?
It weighs at least 25 pounds, maybe 30 pounds. And we'll set it in here very, very carefully as to not break off the stem.
Yep.
Keep it clean. And as you can see, we just cut the stem nice and clean across the top there.
Yep.
And we'll do that with all the rest as well.
And then these have to cure for how long?
Well, they can cure as long as you want them to cure, but they should cure at least for a couple weeks. So we'll sit them on the porch outside of the direct sunlight and let them sit in a place where the animals won't get to them as easily. So this one still has a little bit of green streaks in it, so we're going to leave this guy here for
Where's the green streaks?
Right here on the leaves. Whoa, see the specks?
Oh, yeah, I do see the specks over there.
Like this squash right here is definitely ready. Yeah, that's an interesting looking squash.
That is.
They're supposedly delicious.
Only a face a mother would love.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be one of the sweetest winter squashes that grows. We've never had one, so this will be our first.
That is interesting looking.
Give it a try. I think in French they're called peanut pumpkins because it looks like they have peanuts that grow on them.
Huh.
Supposedly, from what I was reading, these spots are because of the sugar content. So the sugar content kind of gets put into the skin and bubbles out. So the bubblier it is and the darker it is, the more sugar content is supposedly the sweeter the flesh. We will find out because that's pretty bubbled out.
I wonder how it is to peel it too.
I'm gonna guess it's not very easy to peel.
I'm gonna guess not. There's two over here. Oh, your lobbers?
Yeah, this one's nice. Nice jack-o'-lantern pumpkin.
Yes. But still, it puts in comparison that first one.
Yeah, that first one is really big.
Huge.
I'm gonna get these guys right here.
My gosh, you just disturbed a patch of mosquitoes.
Oh
my
everywhere.
gosh.
See, like this guy too. Bugs are coming everywhere. Big grasshoppers. Here's another one. Two of these big guys. Yeah, those are really interesting looking.
That they are.
Now, I will say these have been very productive plants. We've only got two of these plants.
Two of the peanut plants?
Two of the peanut pumpkins.
Or peanut squash.
Peanut pumpkins, yes, squash. And I think we only have 3 pumpkin plants, like regular pumpkins. So these have been very, very productive. Now that's not even talking about the acorns that are down there, because the acorns are even more productive.
Prolific.
Yeah, prolific is a good word. Ow, pokey. There we go. One more pumpkin.
Yeah, that first one's huge.
That's a nice jack-o'-lantern as well.
And that is still bigger than the one that you had last year.
A lot of these are bigger than the ones
Yeah.
that we had last year, for sure.
Maybe we should just make a stack.
Yeah.
And then we can play
Probably not a
Tetris
bad
and
idea.
fit them in better.
Or we can just take several trips.
So I am back with the truck. And one dog. And the other psycho one. There we go. So you've pulled quite a few pumpkins when I was gone.
Total of 10 if you count the 2 that are in the bucket.
So 10 pumpkins?
Yeah. And there's, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 more in here.
Okay.
If you come over here, you can see there's like a real big green one. That's just sitting here.
Let's see.
It's not as big as the biggest one, but close to it.
Oh,
that
that's
one-
a big one.
Hopefully it'll turn before the first frost. And you can probably make out that there's a few still in the field. There's one there. There's one
Well,
over
I
there.
definitely
There's
see a
2 by
spot
the-
of orange over,
Yeah.
like right there.
And I was kind of going through looking at these Thelma Sanders acorns, and from what I read, if you can push your fingernail on them and they make a little indentation, they're not ready. So any that I picked are ready. The
And-
green ones are just regular table ace is what they're called, acorn squash. Those are the same ones you'd get in the grocery store. And those will be ready right around our first frost, or when they get a little orange patch on the bottom.
Yes, I don't see any orange on the bottoms of
Well,
this at
normally
all.
you have to turn them over to see them.
Oh,
But these are kind of small still. So yeah, there's nothing. You can look underneath and see there's no orange there yet.
okay.
They're all kind of small still. So they've got another couple weeks.
Oh, and you have another nice pumpkin down there in the middle of the
there's a bunch
corn.
in the corn.
Yeah.
And you can see that these Thelma Sanders are still producing young fruit, right? There's
Yep.
some babies here. There's some larger ones there.
Mm-hmm.
They're spread throughout this entire patch. And the amazing thing with these is we only have 2 of these plants in here. I mean, we've got to have 50 of these squash. We're going to be feeding the neighborhood with winter squash this year because I had no idea these would be so prolific, but they really are. They're amazing how many fruit we've got. These are the ones that are all the way through the corn patch too. And, you know, there's tons of squash in the corn patch. So we're going to have a pile of these squash. And you can see them in
Oh yeah,
there.
you can.
They're everywhere.
You
And
can.
there's some larger ones here on the
You
edge.
can
Maybe I can-
definitely see. No, you can see them in there.
Yeah, I was just going to see if this one's ready.
Oh, okay. You want me to hold that for you?
I got it. Yeah, this guy doesn't bend. So that's how you can tell, supposedly. Like a watermelon will get a dried up tendril, I think is what it's called, that comes
Okay.
out of the top of it. And that's how you can tell. Supposedly with these, you can tell by push your fingernail against it, and if it doesn't leave an indentation, it's ready.
Well, I feel like that one way deep inside is
Looks-
done.
looks
Yeah,
like
I feel like it's
That
done.
one might sit out for a little bit. Let me just set this guy here. So the next thing that we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to pick corn. We do have a lot of corn that's pretty much ready. Some of it's not, as you can see, like these guys here are not ready, right? But if you look at this one, this is definitely ready. Super dry. We have eaten these. We picked our first harvest earlier this week.
We
and
beat the raccoons.
we did, and they were good. They were good. So we
Wow,
think
look at
these
that
should be good.
squash. Look at that squash flower in
Yeah,
there.
it's crazy. Those squash have grown like nuts.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, if you see them over here, look, they're fully out the other side.
I know, but it's like,
And I mean, just look inside the.
here,
there's-
let's just get an angle from here that you can see they're coming out the back of the corn. So they're coming out,
Yeah, they were planted
over
right on the
here.
other side.
they're coming out, let's see, this side. And they're planted in front of the corn.
And the amazing thing is that these are much larger, the ones that are at the far end here, and they are still not ready yet. So these are going to be big. But yeah, so we have to pick the corn, and then we're going to pick cabbage, and we'll come back here in a few minutes and show you what it looks like.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of do the catch.
Oh, okay.
Watch out, Zed. Okay. And that's kind of it for right here. So what we're doing is we're only picking the ones that are its most ripe. We don't want anything that's not completely ripe. Like this one dried out, although it does not feel to me like it's
Ooh, that's gonna be
fully
corn
ripe.
food. That's gonna be
Chicken
chicken
food,
food.
exactly.
Corn food, please. Chicken
That's most
food.
likely going to be a chicken food.
Yep.
Here's 4 more. So that one had some poor pollination too. You can see that there is really poor pollination there.
Right here?
Yeah, they have really not filled in very well.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
That's the...
So there, you know, that one just didn't grow very well, but that's okay. Like you said, that's a terrific chicken snack. So nothing's really going to go to waste. We'll just leave the silt and the greens down here. We'll put them in our compost pile. We'll fill up the tractor bucket at some point. This one looks like it might be close. Still a little yellow though. See that yellow right there? We're gonna leave that one until it dries out completely. The ones that we ate earlier in the week had a little bit of that, a teeny tiny little bit of yellow at the top, and they were delicious, but they could have gone another day or two. And so I'm kind of leaving them to go for that extra day or two. We're betting or hoping that we can still outrun the raccoons, but even still, the fact that we got some this year is better than we've done in the past.
This one looks like it's not all done, but it looks good.
Let's see. You want to pick it?
I don't know. I
Go ahead.
It looks...
Give it you got to pull it down and twist. There you go. And then pull the bottom leaves off. Feel it. Oh yeah, that feels pretty full. That's pretty good.
Let me see if you want to eat some corn.
No, let's not give him corn because he will definitely eat it. Okay, so this is by far the largest cabbage we grew this year. I've been calling it the giant cabbage. It looks like it has started to split a little bit, so it's definitely probably a day or two past when I should have picked it. But still, looks pretty good.
Definitely did split.
It did. It's probably from the rain we got the other day. But we're gonna get in here and we're gonna cut it out like so. We'll get any of the slugs and the animals that have been in here because there's definitely gonna have been worms and caterpillars and all God knows what else in here. That is the problem with growing cabbage, is it gets dirty close to the ground. This will all go to the chickens. The chickens will totally eat up all these leaves. Now, of course, these leaves are edible if you wanted to eat them, but they're the ones that are close to the ground, so they're not going to be clean. They're going to have been walked over by all kinds of creature. So I prefer to never eat these, but you know, do as you wish. We'll just give them to the chickens. The chickens will.
Whoa,
Oh, look at all those snakes! Holy cow!
That's 1, 2,
You got
3,
a family
4,
of 4
5.
snakes right there.
Or is that 4 or 5?
1, 2,
I see
3,
it.
4. Yeah, 4 snakes in there. That's good. Let these guys go. They eat slugs. I'm happy to have them here. Let them eat any little other creatures that get in our garden. So I'm definitely not in the kill a snake camp. I don't want them to bite me, but I would like them to get going.
Stop,
Well, I'm trying to get them to move.
with your fingers.
Yeah, try to get them to move. These are little garter snakes. They're not going to hurt you, even if they do bite you. But still, they're great to have in here. That shows that we have a nice, healthy ecosystem in here. There's things for them to eat.
How much do you think that thing weighs?
I don't know, but it is pretty heavy. So we're gonna peel off some of these outer leaves. There we go. Take a look. It's got some bug damage for sure. You can see little snails in there. That is a problem with these guys. They're full season cabbages, so they stick around for the whole season, which gives all kinds of creatures an opportunity to get in there and eat them. So like that's an earthworm because it was touching the ground there. But once you get a couple of the layers of leaves off, they are, you know, perfectly good. We already harvested one of these, an earwig in there. We've harvested one of these already, and
That looks
pretty big. This one's still pretty big. But after some hosing off and some cleaning and some washing, this is perfectly edible, and should make for a lot of meals for us. I'm pretty happy with it. It's got to be at least 8 or 10 pounds. That's a good sized cabbage.
And what is this marked for?
This
Sauerkraut?
Well,
No?
we already made 2 cans of sauerkraut, so fried cabbage maybe, cabbage rolls. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
No cabbage rolls. No cabbage rolls.
No cabbage rolls?
No cabbage rolls.
Okay, no cabbage rolls.
So we have a basket of corn that we harvested, the mega giant cabbage that we harvested, and we have 2, 4, 6 of the sweet Sanders,
Thelma Sanders.
Thelma Sanders sweet potato
Acorn squash.
acorn squash.
It's a really long name for an acorn.
It is. We're gonna have to just name it the squash. And then we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pumpkins, with this gigantic one winning our fair contest.
Definitely wouldn't win at the fair though. That
No,
fair
it wouldn't.
pumpkin was very big.
And then we have 3 of these peanut squash.
Yeah, peanut pumpkin, or the French word I do not remember. I can put a link to those seeds from Baker Creek. We do not have an affiliate with them, but I can put a link to the seeds from where we bought them. I believe it was Baker Creek. It was either Baker Creek or it was Territorial. I don't remember which one, but I'll put a link in the description below. They really did grow well. I'm surprised at how well they grew. I was a little concerned because we have a colder climate here and a much shorter growing season, but getting 3 out of, you know, basically the 1 plant. I think we started with 2, but I don't know that 2 plants made it. And we have a couple more that are almost ready. So I don't know if they'll be ready by our frost, but they're getting close. Still a success in my opinion. Yeah, the garden has been producing well, and now it's fall, or almost fall, and we're starting to harvest. We're pretty happy with the initial cucumbered harvest here, you know, the winter squashes at least. This is a pretty good bounty for the two of us, for sure. Way more than we can eat.
The best you've ever done with pumpkins, too.
For sure, yeah, for sure.
Last year you got 2.
This year we got 10, plus there's another several in the field still. So as you can see by looking at the field, things are dying back. The plants are starting to look a little beat up and weathered. This happens at the end of the year, right? Things kind of fall back and don't look as good, but they are coming along. We also have a bunch of peppers that are finally coming in, so hopefully we can harvest those soon. But we're gonna get all these brought up to the house. We'll get them on the porch to let them sit out and dry. We're gonna, instead of putting them in the tractor bucket, we're gonna throw them in the back of the truck instead and drive them up there, just because it's gonna be too much of a hassle to keep loading them in and out of the tractor bucket. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so here's the final tally as the chickens watch over me, and the geese as well. Sit here and follow me around. As you can see, the sun has started to come out, which is pretty awesome. But we've got the 10 pumpkins, so the 2 bigger ones and the 8 smaller ones. We've got all these Thelma Sanders sweet potato acorn squash. We brought 1 in to make dinner with it. And we got 3 of these peanut pumpkins. You can kind of see why they call them peanuts even more in the sunshine here. That does look like a peanut, you know, if you look at it. So this is definitely a terrific first harvest of our winter squashes. We're looking forward to getting the rest of them. But for right now, this is what we got. It's the first harvest. It's doing great. We're very pleased. So we hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you guys following along with us. And as we've said before, if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy seeing this content, want to learn more about how we're, you know, harvesting things, growing things, raising animals like the chickens and the geese and the dogs, and next year maybe some goats, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Click the little like button, give us a thumbs up there. And then if you click the bell when you subscribe, you'll get notified when we make new videos. We try to put a video out once every week or 2, depending. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Have a great one.